Hello, everyone. Some of you know me already, but for those of you who don't, my name is Catherine Simmons, and I represent Indigo Bridges Emotional Freedom Coaching. If any of you would like to ask a question, please type it into the question box as I'm presenting the slides, and I'll take a look at the end. There's no need to type your email address into the box, so you can make it anonymous if you'd like to. If any of you are attending via phone or Skype, at the end of the call, and if you want to ask a question then, I can unmute you and give you the opportunity to ask it in person. If you just press *2 to raise your hand, then I'll know that you have a question to ask. First, I'll just explain a little bit about what I mean by emotional freedom. Emotional freedom is a state of mind where you're no longer controlled by your emotions. You're in a state of personal power where you can make your own choices in life from a position of calm, clarity, and inner confidence. My goal is to facilitate a process by which you achieve inner peace and contentment, and from this place you'll be able to face any challenge that life can possibly throw at you. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. Personally, I'm the mother of 2 wonderful teenage kids and 2 furry canine creatures. I have a loving husband and some really awesome friends. Over the years, I've done many of the things that you may have done in your lives. I moved house, got married, got divorced, emigrated, started new jobs, been laid off from jobs, made friends, and lost them. In other words, I'm just like you, another person trying to make their way in the world. Professionally, after starting out as a technician working in a research lab, studying muscular dystrophy, I've worked in the biotech industry for over 15 years now, and I've been hoping to be part of finding a cure for one kind of disease or another. And so far, I've not been involved in any real successes. In fact, there have been a lot of failures and a lot of companies have closed down. And I've begun to believe that there must be another way. Over time, I've come to realize that there is an emotional component to every disease we experience, and the type of emotions we do experience can even affect the severity and the progression of a disease. We're not all inbred white mice after all, and we're so infinite in our variety. In actual fact, I've had personal experience of the emotional, physical effects of stressful events. At the end of the year 2000, I experienced an emotional breakdown due to an accumulation of stress, which was relating to several critical events that all happened during the same year. Things like being laid off from a job, the stress of moving house, starting a new job, a close member of my family died, and all these things accumulated, and I ended up in the hospital. And these days, it's increasingly likely that we will encounter significant life events like these in our lives as our lives become more demanding, more dynamic, busier, and even much more uncertain than they used to be. During both my work and my personal life, I've become extensively experienced in the innovative management of change. And during this time, I've realized that the best way to approach significant and stressful change is to fully appreciate the strengths of the people involved. Whenever people are given the power and the support to participate, then their fear of the unknown is released and true creativity comes forward. And this is a time when you can really create marvelous things. When you're in a place of fear, it's very difficult to even concentrate or think about anything. All you want to do is hide under the nearest rock. Most recently, I've been lucky enough to have the mentorship of Annabelle Fisher from the EFT Healing Center, who's been my trainer in these emotional freedom techniques. Not only have I learned how to help others by applying these techniques, But I've been able to address many of my own emotional blocks by working with my fellow students and other people, other clients that have come to me. So what are emotional freedom techniques, and why should you be interested in them? EFT is based on a combination of Eastern energy medicine and affirmations or self-talk, which we use to clear emotional blocks in the body. A lot of you will have heard of affirmations from people like Louise Hay, who has really introduced this very recently, or well, over several years. The actual power of affirming and positive statements that will change the way that you think about things and can actually improve your life just by saying something out loud. And the thing about emotional freedom is that rather than having to repeat these things for several days, 30 days or months, the changes can happen very, very quickly because of the combination with these Eastern techniques at the same time. So using very similar principles to acupuncture, specific points on the body are tapped on with your fingertips while I describe aloud in detail your physical symptoms or any past emotional events and the actual emotions that arise when you think about them. And EFT is often referred to as acupuncture without the needles. So there's no needles involved. It's just tapping with fingertips. And these points that you tap on correspond to the end points of certain energy meridians in the body. And those have been mapped out for acupuncture for several thousand years. So as EFT is a non-invasive therapy, there are no known side effects, and it's a very safe process. And the EFT tapping sequence is very simple to learn, even by very small children, which means it can be facilitated remotely over the phone or via Skype, as well as in person. So people are able to actually tap on the points themselves. They don't require the presence of a practitioner to do the tapping. And these tapping points have been refined over the years by Gary Craig, who was trained as an engineer, and he was the founder of EFT, and he developed and refined these tapping points. There's a chart for them and a demonstration video available on my website. And Gary has also recently put up a revised website of his own, which includes a free tutorial on EFT, plus other resources, and you can find the links to those on the website too. So what are these meridians? Well, the tapping involved in EFT is designed to balance the energy in the body. Eastern traditions like Chinese medicine are based around balancing the flow of the life force, otherwise known as qi. When there are obstructions in the flow of this energy, like that caused by negative emotions, then there's likely to be disease. And this energy system is traditionally manipulated in treatments like acupuncture, massage, and shiatsu. The life force flows through these invisible channels in the body, which are thought to be related to bioelectric fields. And the 12 major meridians, and these correspond to the 12 major organs in the body. So when you're tapping on those, you're thought to be affecting these major organs. And you might think that the idea of these energy meridians is a bit hocus pocus and doesn't really have much basis in reality. But there are many people that benefit from treatments like acupuncture. And in recent years, it's been confirmed that these channels actually exist, and you're able to visualize them using special dyes. And the channels themselves are called Bongum channels, after the Korean scientist who originally discovered them in the 1960s. If you'd like to read more information about these, there are links on the What Are Meridians Anyway page of the Indigo Bridges website. As awareness of these channels is new to the clinical profession, it's going to be a while before this knowledge can be actually integrated into medicine as we know it in the West now. But I think during the future, it's going to become increasingly important.